Hi, Queen. It's Melissa Knox Brunson of thequeencode.com. And today I want to talk to you about the power of authenticity and speaking your truth. And that's really important because to find your throne means to find yourself. And as you're discovering who you are on a very deep level, that's how you truly step into your power. One of my favorite quotes by the late great Dr. Seuss is where he says, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter." And that's absolutely true. I remember every major up level in my life, every major success, achievement, quantum leap has really come after not only a period of deep discovery, but also of speaking my truth. And I remember there was a time in 2009 where I was going through this really rough patch in my life. I felt very, very frustrated, and I didn't quite understand what was going on with me. I was very lethargic. I was feeling sad all the time, and I felt like there was something else, something just kind of tugging at my spirit, but I didn't know what it was. I couldn't name it. I couldn't locate it. I couldn't point to it. But whatever it was something that I knew I wanted to get to, but I simply didn't know how. And eventually I ended up going to the doctor because I wanted to know, why was I sad all the time? Why was my energy so low? Why was I just kind of moping around? And a part of me felt a little guilty because I really had a good life and I had a lot to be thankful for. But there was something else, and I just couldn't I couldn't get over that feeling. And so I remember going to the doctor, and he looked at me and he said, "You're depressed, and we want to put you on some depression medication." And that to me was a turning point because I knew I did not want to be on depression medication, but I knew that it was also time for me to really address this feeling that was just really deep down inside of me. And so I began to dig very, very deep. And what I came to the conclusion of was that I felt like I was living in two different worlds. I felt like there was this one world where everyone else was, and there was another world where I felt like I was truly myself. I said things that maybe no one ever heard me say. I felt I had different feelings. I had different things that I wanted to express, but I was afraid to. And shortly after I came to that conclusion, I was sitting on my front porch one day, and I just heard a voice say, "Melissa, everything that you've been through, everything that you've gone through to get to this point in your life, write it all down. You're about to go to a new place. You're about to go from good to great." And I did exactly that, and From Good to Great ended up becoming my first book. But I wrote everything down, everything that I wanted to express, everything that I had been through, all of that wisdom that was on the inside of me that for some reason I was just afraid to speak. I wrote it all down, and it really transformed my life. I remember at that time I was preparing for my final pageant competition, and those closest to me knew that I was a little nervous, and they couldn't understand why, because it was my 40th competition over the course of 10 years. And I felt nervous because for the first time I was bringing myself 100%. Because over the years I had gotten really good at saying what I thought people wanted to hear. And now I was really speaking my truth and saying the things that I really wanted to say. And again, it really transformed my life, and it was phenomenal. And me writing everything down and really tracking this journey that I had been through up until that point in my life, it eventually became my first book. And when I came out with my book, From Good to Great, I mean, really, it was like a door behind me had closed forever, and I couldn't go back. That depression that I was dealing with was totally gone. Even when I was having quote unquote a bad day, there was just a peace and a joy that I could not explain that was with me all the time. That depression was totally gone, and what I began to understand looking back is that lack of expression leads to suppression and eventually depression. So lack of expression, not saying what you really want to say, not being who you really are, leads to suppression and eventually depression. And when I was depressed, it was because I simply was not speaking my truth. So Queen, speaking my truth and being who I really was, it absolutely changed my life. And the same is true for you. There's some great things that you have to say that you've only just been kind of keeping to yourself, and the world needs to know. There's a person that you really are deep down inside, but it's maybe, you don't want to come out with it because you may feel like people will judge you or what will people say. But one thing I know for a fact is when I was, saying what I thought people wanted to hear, life was good. I'd done some really good things. But when I started showing up 100% as myself, life became great. And as a queen, we operate in greatness. And so in order to truly be great, in order to truly step into your power, in order to truly find your throne, queen, it's time to speak your truth. So that's what I want you to think about this week. I want you to think about what are some things that you're holding back? What are some things that you're not saying? How are you not showing up 100% as yourself? Because the truth is, in this next evolution of your life and the next evolution in the universe, it's really important that every queen is in her right position. It's really important that every queen is doing the thing that she was meant to do. We don't need anyone posing. We need no imposters, because in order to truly not only make our lives better, but also to affect the world, we have to truly and authentically be ourselves. So that's what I want to tell you this week, Queen. I really want you to really step out and be who you are and watch your world change. Okay? In the meantime, until we talk again, I want you to go to www.thequeencode.com, and I want you to download your free audio, Queen, You Were Born to Succeed. And when you listen to the audio, I want you to tell me which queen type you are. There's 3 in all, and it's possible that you could be 1, 2, or all 3. Either way, send me an email and tell me which queen type you are. Okay? Talk to you soon.